Right, today we're looking at the Marshall Pure Evoke 1S. Now, I must admit this thing does look pretty amazing. It's a DAB radio, and all I know about it is that it doesn't switch on. On the back of it here we have a battery pack. You can see it uses a special type of plug-in power pack, which unfortunately I don't have. And it takes 6 volts DC. Now, I don't know if you can see, but that connector is more like a laptop connector, and I don't actually have one of those. So what I think we're going to have to do is take off the screws, have a look inside, and then maybe hook the bench power supply directly up to this to see what it's doing. Okay, we're inside now. So I'm just going to put these screws back in here because we've got quite a few differing sizes, and I don't want to, if I can't finish this in one day, I don't want to forget where everything goes. Power comes in here and then goes to here. So what I think I might do, if we get this going, is replace this with a more standard socket. As good as it is, I would rather be able to use a power supply that I already have rather than go out and buy something specific just for this. I don't really know why they didn't do that anyway. Well, we can take this off and we can just apply power here. Good plan. Right, we can take these out here. Let's get 6 volts on the power supply. We'll put it to 5.9. What I was told about this one is that it sometimes comes on but sometimes doesn't. Let's hook it up. Thought I heard something there. Okay, I just need to separate these so they don't touch one another. So let's, I'm just going to put this over this one. Right. Okay, well I heard something there. Now that's possibly because the aerial isn't on, so. Right, there we go. Let's put the aerial on. So the light's coming on. Okay, let's reset the power supply. I can hear some clicking noise from the speaker. Okay, that's better. Okay, so I think the radio part of it is working. Let's see if we can power it off. The radio part of it's working, but no screen. So let's look a bit further into that then. I think there's just 6 screws here around the sides that should let the front of it come out. If we can get it out of this unit, then that would be brilliant. Now then, this screw that I've just taken out is suspiciously rusty. Interesting why we would have a rusty screw in there. So there we are. Come on now. We need to probably take this board off now. So we made it in. So we didn't burn the connector, which is good. Okay, so looking there, we've got the connector for the screen, which I assume is the screen. We've got this FL1 here. Let's just check continuity on that. I think this is a fuse. Okay, that's good. Yeah, okay, so that's okay. Put these two back in here. There's so many different size screws. If I don't do this, I'm never going to be able to put this back. Okay, so here's the screen. I don't think there's really any way we can test this. What we can do, I don't have another one of these. Let's, there we go. So let's just move this about. The only thing we can do is have a look around some of these ICs here, look on the display connector with the scope and see if we get any kind of activity. So there's data there. There's definitely something there. I'm probably going to say that I think this screen is the source of the issue here. Given we can see some data there, I'm tending to suspect that it is this screen that's gone. Okay, we'll be back when we get another one of these displays. Right, the new display has arrived, and hopefully this one will fix the issue. I'm hoping this new display is going to be the right one, but it's slightly taller. Put the two of them side by side. Yeah, it's quite a bit taller. So we just pull that off. Put the display in. I don't need to touch it. Okay, that sits in there quite nicely. That's not going anywhere. Does that go like that? Yeah. And then these two go in here. I don't think the display is any thicker, so it shouldn't cause it any issues that way. Just want to over tighten it. Put these two on. This will keep this board on. Right, so that's that board in. Do I have another connector? Let me see if I've got any connectors for that. Okay, so I've managed to obtain a slightly different input connector. So we're going to try and see if we can put it on here. I don't know if we can or not, but might as well try. I don't like these non-standard connections. So if we look at this, looks like that might just work. Okay, so we've got the new connector. Well, it's not new, but we've got the connector to put into here, but this one here is just slightly too small. So I'm going to just enlarge it with this. Let's give it a go. There we go. That's better. So now we can just solder it on. Right, there we go. It's not perfect, but it will do the job. I'm not planning on getting rid of this one, so this is just for me. If I do decide to get rid of it, I will put this back in. Right, that's those two there. And we just got this one here. Now it does say battery plus and minus there. Okay, and it goes on that way. So I think now we need to put it into the case. So we have 6 screws there, which are these here. And then I think we've got these 6 at the back. Right, it's all back together again. Let's power it up. Plug that in. And with a bit of luck, yes, there we go. Fantastic. Getting the time. There we are. So we won't listen to that. Let's
goal to 0 up against Germany at half-time. The Atletico.
And there we go. So that all seems to be working. Right, so the final thing we want to do is check to see if we could get this updated to DAB+. Now, certain versions of the software, I think it's 4.0 and above, you can download a file from the manufacturer's website, hook it up to a laptop using USB, and you can update it. So we'll check this one just to see if it needs updated. So the way you do it is you press and hold the menu button for about 2 seconds until update comes up. Now this one's actually running 5.3 FR, which I think is possibly France. I'm not quite sure why that is, but 5.3 is the latest version of the software. So this one's already been updated. We don't have to do anything with it. But the option is there if you've got a unit with an older firmware, then you can check to see if it can be updated and you can get some new features. So the story with the display is that I did find a replacement on eBay. Now the one that I've put in, as you saw, was a slightly different size, but it still fits and it still works, so that's the main thing. This display was on eBay for about £25–26. Now I'll put the conversion up on the screen, which to me is just too expensive. Now I actually did find that there was a seller in China, which is where I eventually bought it, for £12, which was much more acceptable. The difference was that it was actually marketed as for a coffee machine. So obviously these displays are used in multiple items, and for this particular one it was used in a coffee machine. So yes, just a failed display in this one, and I'm really happy to get this. As I say, I do like the look of this. Apparently it also comes with another speaker that you can use, but I think for my purposes this is fine. Great to get this working, another fix. And tomorrow will be day 12, the final day. Hope you've enjoyed the series so far. It's been great fun to make. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.